Let's see what I can do with a 3-minute video. See how far I get anyways. I've removed the mag release and all that jazz. Selector switch. Got my buffer tube and all that off too. Yeah. Definitely customized. Right now what I'm doing is I thought I was being smart and I shimmed my one gear there that interacts with this motor. I figured I'd leave it a little bit loose so that I can make this kind of the thing that adds tension. And what I'm finding is I don't like that. So I am going to actually make it a little bit more stationary. But one thing I can recommend with that one is when you're shimming these gears and these things and you get to that gear, don't necessarily make it as low as possible, because what might end up happening is that this doesn't have room to go up anymore, and essentially when you go to put your grip or plate back on, the bottom grip plate back on, yes, this is to adjust the height. Essentially you could have that backed all the way out and it'll still be too tight. Even just putting it on, it pretty much, it messes things up essentially in the end. But yeah, look at that motor. That's a stock motor actually. It's Raven Elite. What is this thing? Raven Evolution. Mod 0. What? Yeah, mod Type 0. Anyways, I can't even remember the name of it. It's optical trigger and all that. It's really sick. Anyways, yeah, let's get this stuff off. Get that off of there and not stick into my motor so I don't lose that little ball. I need that for my selector switch. Alright, so this thing. Get my grip off. Let's try and get the gearbox out within this 3 minutes here. I got 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. I got 30 seconds to get this grip plate off. Honestly, it ain't happening. This might be a multi-length video. Well, it is gonna be. I got one more that I can do too, so I'll start my next one right from scratch for the next video set. There it is. Bam, pull that guy off. Make sure I'm not gonna pull these wires with it. Give me that screw. Alright, ran out of time. Let's go. As I was saying, these can be super fun to get out. Just because they get kind of caught. I don't like reefing on wires all that much, so just gotta straighten it out a little bit, and then I can get it out. There it is. Put that over there. Now, what do I got left here? There'll be one pin right there. Pop that out. And then we got this one right here. Now, naturally, I got all the proper tools for this. I don't know if you picked up on that sarcasm. Well, bam. Now I should be able to pop that right out. Let's get her out. And let's get my gearbox out here. And I am literally opening this thing for one shim. Well, I shouldn't say one shim. I might put 2 or 3 in there. But one gear is going to get shims on it. After that, I slap it all back together. Not bad shell. Pretty solid actually. I've pulled out thinner, I've pulled out thicker. I've had it for a few years, so it's lasting pretty well. Now before I lose any of these random parts, I like to pop them off. You're gonna have to pop it off to open the gearbox anyways. That's what I'm talking about with the optical stuff there. That's the selector switch. See, it's optical in there. It's pretty cool. I can show you the trigger once I open it. So let's get in there. Let's see, is that the right size? No, we need a little bit bigger. I think it's that one. Perfection. Just like that. Like that. Oh, you know what? I'm actually forgetting this one right here. That actually has to come off too. Does it though? Yeah, it does, because it's the only reason I gotta pop that off actually is because it's interfering. There's a screw underneath it that I need to pop off. Okay, so let's get it right now. Of course, that's too big. Sorry, I am shaky. I have not eaten breakfast yet, and I am only drinking coffee. My system loves when I do that, and it makes me shaky. Just like that. This thing here is actually just, it was tight around there. That's why it does that. All right, now. All right, to the next one. I backed out all these screws to save us some time. So naturally, we're gonna back out all these screws, and then let's pull them all out. I recommend you guys putting them in the order that you took them out in, on somewhere that you can do this. Me, myself, I've done this many times, if you would, especially with this specific one, actually. Like I said, I upgraded it and stuff, and I clinkered around with it quite a few times, so I don't really need to do that for myself. But I highly recommend, if you're doing this stuff for the first time with your guys' guns, you definitely want to put stuff in the order, like put it down somewhere in the order that you took it out, so it's easy to like memorize how you took it out and all that shit. Oh, a huge mistake that I was just about to make. You always take your spring out if you can. If it's got a removable spring, take that out before you do all this stuff. Otherwise, she's gonna go flying, and it relieves pressure and tension, all these other things too. It makes it a lot easier. I love guns that have exchangeable springs and all that, because it makes this process so much easier. Like if you ever take apart an AK, Sima AK, that doesn't have that, oh holy crap. Not only taking it apart, good luck getting it back together. It is a nightmare. Doable, but still a nightmare, especially if you don't have 10 hands. Anyways, so let's just pop this off now that I remember to do that. I like to push that down too, otherwise you'll pull it all up together, flick shims around and all that. Before we commit, let's make sure we didn't pick any shims up on this side. So I just pulled that up off of there, because I don't want to lose my shimming either. So always make sure you pick them all up, take a look around, make sure you didn't drop any shims. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so from there, I'm going to pop that thing up there, which is your tappet plate, but I just say these things and that things. So let's grab a little flathead screwdriver, so I can pop that up, fold it down. All right, now this is just going to come up like butter. Oh, excuse me. All right, so like I said, that's a tappet plate, air nozzle, double O-ring air nozzle. It don't really matter if you go with single or double. One thing to think of with a double, it's more tension. You might put more wear on your tappet plate because it's just more grip on there. I always switch to metal cylinder heads. Again, it don't really matter if you have a double O-ring setup. One bad thing about metal piston heads is you want something to be able to break. And those are cheap and easy to replace. And if you break, if this breaks your shell, it is not cheap to replace that. So you might be better off going with the plastic one. Anyways, what I'm in here for is this gear here is what I was talking about. I have it way too loose, so I need to make it a little bit more stationary. So in the next video, I will go over just that. All right, see you guys there. Alright, so I did a few things anyways instead of making you guys watch me do them all. Like I said, anyways, I want to show off this optical thing here. That's the little circuit board for the optical trigger and customizable, yeah, whatever, smart trigger, whatever you want to call it. Pretty slick. So all I ended up doing anyways was adding two 1.01 millimeter shims, one on top, one on bottom. Make it a little bit more stationary. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it was creating some actual issues. It was just too shaky in there, and it was creating this whiny feedback noise, and it probably would have been fine, sure, but I just don't like that. It's going to cause premature wear, and I know that for a fact. So all I did was that. So a few tips that I can give you guys when doing this stuff is don't just put your gearbox shell on there thinking that you can test the tensions like that. You want at least 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, like 4 corners kind of thing, getting around to get proper feel of what the actual gearbox tension is. And even then, some people will recommend putting all screws in to check the actual tension on the gears, because you just don't know until you actually have all of them, they will suggest. I will agree to that. I definitely do cut corners, and like, well, here I am repairing, so I do pay for it in ways, so keep that in mind. Yeah, let's get it back together. Oh, I will point out, these are the shims that I definitely decided to go with. I go with these or mag shims. Mag make really nice ones too. What I mean by nice is good tolerances. Some I just have a hard time finding good tolerances in, and quality at the same time. And Mag and FPS Aeg, they definitely nail it on both. FPS Aeg is a brand out of Italy. Anyways, so yeah, let's slap it back together, and then I will make one more video after this showing you guys how they work. Well, how it sounds after I'm all said and done. One thing I did check when I was in there was just say, you know what, let's quickly check how I did on the other gears too, just to be sure. And they're pretty good. This is actually an aftermarket gear set. I figured I'd try it out. I can't even remember the brand on this gear set, but let's test out the durability and stuff. It has this bearing on it and all that stuff. And myself, I think less is more, in all honesty. But I figured let's go out on a limb and try it out and see if they're cool. I'll let you guys know if they ever break on me. I don't know if there's much else to really go over on this thing. When I was talking about that metal piston head there, probably want to make sure you got some good sorbethane in there, extra thick. That will protect your shell a little bit more. Outside of that, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will just be demonstrating a test fire. No BB loaded, just a cycle. So, see you guys there. Alright, so I got everything back on here, and like I said, I just wanted to kind of do a demo, like a cycle test, just to kind of show you what I was talking about. So I put everything back on. I adjusted the grip screw there, so I adjusted the tension there, and I definitely got rid of the whine that I was speaking about. And let's throw it the semi-auto and give her a go. So here's semi-auto. Myself, I don't actually like the sound of that custom gear set I was talking about, but I definitely got rid of the whine that I was talking about. It was, I don't know if you're hearing that, those in my opinion are still a little bit whiny of gears. They're not tight at all, actually, like at all. So yeah, it's just the sound of the gears. But anyways, here's full auto. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds good. We got good function, good reaction. Good speed, all that. Again, why I went in there and did that was the gear that interacts with the motor. I had originally set it, actually, let's back up that just a little bit. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, actually that's perfect, right there. Okay, alright. So now, in my opinion, this gun is perfect. I probably won't take it apart until something malfunctions or it breaks. So yeah, again, like I was saying before I cut myself off there, the only reason I went in there was the third gear that interacts with the motor itself. I had originally left wiggle room thinking, hey, you know what, let's make it so the tension comes from the spring and the screw here, and that's going to allow me to adjust up and put a upward tension on that gear in there. And that's what's going to make it stay. It was cool in my head. It sounded awesome. But in the end, functionality-wise, it created a whine. It created this rattle, I assume is what was happening. And it was not cool. And it did not work. So I went and fixed it anyways. So yeah, there she is. And that is done. Last thing that I should add on this thing is check out that awesome grip and that scope. Little overkill for what I use this for. But hey, it looks cool. I will make another video actually just solely on the scope because I really like it. Till then, thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for taking part, and see you on the next one.